Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the structure of RNA. So what is RNA? Before we talk about RNA, we're going to talk about another molecule related to RNA, and that's DNA. So let's first try to recall what we remember about the structure and the function of DNA. So we know, I don't think it's on here. Oh, we do. DNA contains genetic information. Metabolic pathways are controlled by enzymes, and enzymes are proteins. And we know that DNA is responsible for passing genes on to offspring, which is heredity. We know that DNA is made of nucleotides. And we know that DNA is a double helix. So those are some things that we know about DNA itself. However, DNA has another molecule similar to it called RNA. And RNA is a smaller molecule that contains similar information to the DNA. And the reason this is because DNA controls the production of proteins. However, we know that DNA is found in the nucleus of a cell, and proteins are made at the ribosome. Now, that's a problem because if we have a cell, here's our nucleus. This is where the DNA is located. Ribosomes are out here on the outside of the nucleus. But DNA cannot go out of the nucleus. So DNA is actually too fat to leave the nucleus. It can't leave. It's trapped in the nucleus always. So there has to be a way to get the message of how to build a protein from the nucleus out to the ribosome. And the way that that happens is by creating a molecule of RNA. RNA is much smaller and it can travel outside of the nucleus, and therefore can take the message out to the ribosome to make the protein. So that leads to this process here. DNA, we already talked about DNA. DNA can make copies of itself, and that's called DNA replication. However, when it comes to making proteins within our bodies or within a cell, DNA can't leave the nucleus like we talked about, so that involves making a molecule of RNA. When DNA is rewritten into RNA, that process is called transcription, in which the information held in the DNA is given to RNA. So it's just rewritten as a molecule of RNA, but it contains the same important information. Then the information in the RNA is made into a protein, and that process is called translation. And then our proteins give us our traits. And this is called the central dogma of biology because this process makes us who we are. So again, traits such as eye color are determined by proteins, and those proteins are coded for in DNA. Our DNA is too big to leave the nucleus. Because we need to get that information from the DNA in the nucleus out to the ribosome to build proteins, we need another molecule called RNA. And RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. So RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. So DNA molecules provide the information or instructions for making proteins, but RNA molecules are what help build the protein. So DNA hands off its instructions to the RNA, and the RNA does the job. The whole process, transcription, translation, the whole process is called protein synthesis because they are the steps needed to make proteins. So protein synthesis is the process of building proteins using the steps that we talked about above. Now, a few things about RNA structure. RNA is single-stranded. Its smaller structure makes it able to leave the nucleus. RNA has the sugar ribose, and that's where its name comes from, ribonucleic acid. It's named after the sugar. And also in RNA, the base uracil replaces thymine. Meaning that in an RNA molecule, RNA has the letters A, U, G, C. RNA does not have T, that's replaced by the letter U, which stands for uracil. So both RNA and DNA have 4 nitrogen bases. However, DNA has T for thymine, and RNA contains a new base called uracil. And uracil pairs the same way that thymine would have, except this time in RNA it's U instead of T. So in RNA, U goes with A. In DNA, T went with A. So let's look at some comparing and contrasting here of DNA and RNA. Both DNA and RNA are nucleic acids. They both are genetic info. Made of nucleotides. They have the bases A, C, and G in common. DNA, however, is a double helix. It contains the base thymine. It is found only in the nucleus. RNA is a single helix. It contains the base uracil. This one is found in the cytoplasm. And the only other difference is the sugar. RNA has ribose, and DNA has deoxyribose. So those are some differences between DNA and RNA. And there are 3 types of RNA that we're going to see in this process of making proteins. The first type is called messenger RNA. And it's abbreviated mRNA. And it's called this because it contains the DNA message. So in transcription, when DNA is rewritten as RNA, that is messenger RNA. It carries the message from the nucleus out to the cytoplasm at the ribosome. The second type of RNA is called ribosomal RNA. And that is abbreviated rRNA. And this is the RNA that makes up the ribosome. So I'll write that out here. rRNA makes the ribosome. And the last type of RNA that we're going to see is transfer RNA, and it's abbreviated tRNA. And it's called transfer RNA because it transports amino acids. So tRNA carries amino acids to help build the protein. So if we're looking at this image here, RNA is located here in the nucleus when it's made from DNA into RNA. That RNA is going to leave the nucleus, and then it will be read by the ribosome. So this single-stranded molecule here is RNA as well. These are the mRNAs. The RNAs that read are the tRNAs. tRNAs are also, they kind of look like the letter T. If you look closely there, it looks like the letter T. And then this one is hard to see. It's this little darker shaded region here that's reading the mRNA. That is called the ribosome, made of rRNA. Now we're going to look more at this process more in detail in our next PowerPoint. So you're going to want to go ahead and check that out.